Hey guys, I just wanted to pop in real fast. I'm at home working from home, and I am reading a response from a lawyer's office for a civil complaint that I filed. And I just wanted to show you guys, well, my desk is dirty, but I'm going to show you anyway. I just wanted to show you guys how not only the criminal system is destined and created for people to fail, but the financial systems in businesses and stuff is set up for us to fail too. So I'm going to just give you a little background. And y'all, look, I don't have no glitz and glamour on. I'm at home. I'm working from home. My desk is a mess. I'm just working. So let me give you a little bit of background. So I had a client who was an active client who came to me, and they did file bankruptcy, okay? They filed bankruptcy, and they had a student loan that I think it's maybe like $40,000 nevertheless. Now, the accuracy is that they did file bankruptcy. A part of the issue is they did have the student loans, which is theirs. However, it's still not reporting correctly. The balance is off, and the time that the account was open was off. So a lot of times, if you guys have student loans, you will see that the open date is wrong. If you consolidate it. However, the open date is always the open date. So even if you wait a minute, y'all, I'm trying to get situated. Ow, I dropped the phone. So even if you notice that you consolidate a loan, right? So if you have a loan, you consolidate the loan. The origination date does not change. So if you went to school and you opened that loan in 2012, 2012 is typically when the origination date is. However, it updates student loans. Most of the time, you can always find a discrepancy. So here's my thing. It's not to say whether the accounts belong to her or not. The bankruptcy absolutely belongs to her. The student loans, they are not reporting right, but in hindsight, in essence, they do belong to her, right? However, that's not the issue. That's not my concern. Now, I know you'll have different credit repair people that tell you if it's yours, own up to it, you pay it and all of that. I'm not here to debate that. My thing is the law says that they have to be able to provide documentation and information that the information that they are reporting, and when I say they, meaning the credit bureaus, are supposed to be able to prove that an account belongs to you. The way the law works is the person that brings the claim has the burden of proof. It's plain and simple. I'm not here to dispute or go back and forth on whether it's hers or not. My issue is show me the documentation that you have that verifies that this account that you verified that this account by reasonable documentation, meaning a signed contract. You guys are familiar with 609s. You guys are 609 in the credit bureaus to death, to the point the credit restoration process is taking so long because you guys are getting a hold of this 609 letter in the language, and I watch these groups and y'all sending thousands and thousands of letters. And what's in the 609 letter is accurate. So for all you guys who don't know, the 609 clause is basically, the section 609 says basically just what I said in short without all of the big fancy words, that the credit bureaus are required to verify and validate any accounts that they report by documentation. It's not enough just to say that somebody owes something. Think about it in layman's terms in regular everyday life, even when you watch court TV. If I borrow $20 from my girlfriend and my girlfriend takes me to court, it becomes my word against hers. And another person can't come in. Her sister can't come in and say, Meek the one owes my sister $100 because my sister told me. If there is no promissory note, if there is no documentation, if there is no text messages, in a court of law, that stuff is not applicable. It works the same exact way. So again, my issue is not whether it belongs to her and fixing this and correcting that. My thing is, it's just like in a regular court of law, when you know you got your cousins and your boo's and they breaking all kind of laws and they doing all kinds of stuff, but they get off on a technicality. Nobody is crying, oh, so-and-so should have changed his life, or so-and-so shouldn't have did that. It's the same thing in the financial world. Life happens, financial issues happen, and guess what? It is what it is. So this is just a way to find a loophole in the technicality. Now, if by all means you feel like you want to be responsible and you want to pay for it, and I'm not telling you that. But anyway, So that's the gist of the story. So I sent multiple letters to the credit bureau, even using the 609. But like I said, because so many of you guys are literally sending in the 609 letters, the credit bureaus are not budging, because they know that beyond that, you don't have any experience or any legal ramifications to move past that. So they'll just send you all kind of letters. At one point, before the 609 letters got popular, it worked. It does not work now. So nevertheless, I sent maybe 4 letters, when it usually takes me 1 or 2, to have the bankruptcy moved and to have the student loan accounts removed. They refused to. They, even with my letters, and my letters is swaggy, and they just kept saying that they validated, they were not going to remove it. So the next level was, okay, in the 609 letter, it's a clause that says, if you do not verify this account or remove it, I will file a lawsuit against your company. Well, guess what? Most people will not file lawsuits, and now you watch this video, you probably will. But if you don't have the information to go past that, it is what it is. But nevertheless, so that's exactly what I did. So not only in my letters do I say that I'm prepared to file a lawsuit if you do not in turn provide information, I actually will go to the courthouse and I actually will file a lawsuit, because I understand what the laws is and what it means. So I did that. So I went and I did a lawsuit. I provided all of the information. So I'm going to turn the camera over. Let me clean some of my mess up on my desk, because I don't want y'all judging me. Talk about how messy my desk is, but that's what happens when you in the lab and you real life key working. So I'm gonna clean some of my stuff off, and I got people information, so let me get some of this stuff, and I'm just going to show y'all a snippet of what they said. So again, what I did was I went to the courthouse and I drafted up a lawsuit. Now, and if you've ever done credit repair or you've ever done disputes, you know that the responses will say they verified this account and it was determined that this account was accurate. Now, the thing is, they're supposed to tell you how they verified that information. They never will send you any documentation to say that they sent it by mail, they sent it by fax, that so-and-so, maybe Miss Johnson at the courthouse responded or whatever. They'll never send that. What they'll do is say they verified this information by the original creditor, and then they'll list, hey y'all, then they'll list to you, they'll list the address of the original creditor as if that's what they did. Well, here's the thing. I'm going to give y'all a fun fact, especially for those that are doing bankruptcies, and I have a lot of people that's doing bankruptcy removals. The courthouse does not verify any bankruptcies. The courthouse does not furnish any bankruptcies. I did a video before, maybe like 2 weeks ago, letting you know about all of the other 500 million credit bureaus that exist outside of Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. So the credit bureaus, even though it's public records, they do not physically do any verifications or validations of any bankruptcy. So when I see that, or when you guys see that, you automatically know it's a lie. What they do is they go into PACER. PACER is a statewide public record, just like Case Search. And you can go on PACER, you can find judgments, bankruptcies, and all of that. However, that is not a legal validation. So what they do is you can put in the last 4 digits of somebody's social security number, okay? And if you have the last 4 digits, it'll tell you when they filed bankruptcy. It'll tell you when it was discharged, if it was discharged. It'll give you their address. I'm not sure. I usually go online and do it. But I think if you call, it'll give you the address. And also, just like I have PACER system, anybody can get a PACER system. You have to pay for it. It's expensive if you continuously use it. But you can go online and do it. And you can just go and put the person's first name and put the person's last name in. And it'll pull up multiple people. So let's just say if you got a regular name like James Johnson or Nicole Johnson. I guess that's a regular name. You can go to pacer.gov. You can put in Nicole Johnson, okay? Now, Nicole Johnson is a common name, but it might be 10 of them. Now, all they have to do is just go through each 10 of them. If the addresses and stuff match what's on the PACER website versus what's on your credit report, they automatically figure they have a match. But the thing is, PACER does not give you the whole social security number. So guess what? That's not a legal validation, because it could be very coincidental that Nicole Johnson could be Nicole Johnson 1 and Nicole Johnson 2. And guess what? The socials could be very similar. I mean, social security numbers are repetitive. So without the disclosure of a full social security number, you legally can't validate. You're just making an educated guess, which in most of the times is pretty accurate, but it doesn't matter. That's not what the law says. It's not a legal validation. A legal validation would be them going to the courthouse and physically talking to somebody and getting documentation to say that, hey, this is the person. Now, somebody will ask, well, if they can print it out, and it's public records, is that a legal validation? It's still not a legal validation. The documentation has to physically come from the person who furnishes it. And again, the courthouse does not furnish it. So you have third parties that, just like I said, go into this system every single day for people that file bankruptcy or that get tax liens. Like, this is their job. They search this system, they compile a report, and then they sell your information. So they're not getting it from the courthouse, because technically the courthouse is not the one that gave it to them, if that makes sense. So whenever you see that, if you ever file bankruptcy and you wanted to dispute a bankruptcy, that's a given right there, because the bankruptcy court do not do that. You can even take a step further and send a letter to the courthouse to say, hey, I got a letter from the credit bureau saying that you verified this account. I want to know what documentation you gave them and provided them. And their response will be, we're sorry, you were misinformed. We do not do any validations or verifications. They are not affiliated with any credit reporting agency. So you can even go as far as send that to the credit bureaus and have them delete it. But they have not even been wanting to do that, because of course I know that I did that and it just didn't work. So nevertheless, I went to the courthouse and I filed in small claims against TransUnion. So I'm going to show you real quick. Now, like I said, keep in mind that the original, and I don't have the original letter. I probably do, but I'm not going to dig for it for y'all. But nevertheless, so the original letter when I sent to say, hey, I want to know how you verified this account. You legally could not have verified this account. Whoop, 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 whoop. They sent a response back that said that they verified the account, right? So y'all on point with that. So let me show you. Let me turn it around. All right, so I'm going to show you real quick. If you read right here, it says, this is what I say. I've contacted this company on more than several occasions regarding a bankruptcy and a student loan they inaccurately furnished on my credit report, right? On my credit profile, okay? Now, their answer, now they have a lawyer. So whenever you file, of course, they're not coming. They have people that will come to court and represent them. Now, this is a lawyer. Now, you can see, this is what I said. It says the particulars of the case, and then this is their answer. So, right here is what the lawyer responded back and said. TransUnion states that it lacks knowledge of information at this time sufficient to form a belief about the truth of these allegations as they apply to TransUnion, which has the effect of denial under Rule 8b-5. TransUnion states that it lacks knowledge or information sufficient to form a belief about the truth of a remaining allegation, which has the effect of denial code. And then this is pretty much my second part where I said I requested that they provide a contract, application, or any documentation they have on file by the FCR 609. Now, their answer to that was pretty much the same. I don't want to go too far up because the person name is on here. But here's their answer, so I can get it without you saying the person name. Like, privacy is important around here. So if you see that answer, it says the same thing. TransUnion states it lacks knowledge, blah, 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 blah. So that's their response to everything that I said. TransUnion denies allegation containing these paragraphs. Exactly. These are two counts have had a dramatic financial hardship. Here you go again. TransUnion states that it lacks knowledge of information sufficient. And this is pretty much... All right, let me turn it back to me. So this is pretty much what they have responded to throughout the whole duration of the lawsuit, that their belief is TransUnion lacks any knowledge. Now, I'm not a lawyer. I never professed to be. However, I'm a good fluent reader. I'm very fluent in Google. And Wikipedia will tell you pretty much anything that you need to know. But it doesn't take a rocket science to know that in a lawsuit, you're saying you lack knowledge. So let me just back forward. So whenever somebody reports any information, even if you take it to everyday life, it has to be factual. You have to believe that the information that you convey against somebody is truthful. If not, it becomes defamation of character. It's just like if I go to go somewhere and it's a regular person. I will use Nicole Johnson again. If I go and say Nicole Johnson is a scam artist, there's no Nicole Johnson, so I'm just making it up. I want y'all to go searching. But if I say Nicole Johnson is a scam artist, she's a thief, she's a liar, she's this and that, and she could be all of those things, it becomes defamation of character. If I cannot prove that she said those things or that she is those things, it's defamation of character, and that becomes a legal issue. Now, if I'm saying these things because I believe it, everybody has an opinion, but I have reason to believe because she's done certain things to me and I can provide information, then that's something totally different. So they're reporting information as if it's truthful, but now in a court of law, you have no information and you lack knowledge of it. So if you lack knowledge of it, then in hindsight, guess what? You shouldn't be reporting it. So all of that to say, it's all a systematic game. The same way that the system, the jail system and all of that stuff is a corruption. People get rich. And I don't know how many times and how much I can express. This is bigger than credit repair. It's bigger than you. It is a $1 billion business. People get rich off of keeping your credit score really low. It keeps you in poverty, and whether people want to recognize it or own it, it matters, and it matters a lot. And they do things illegal all the time, but because nobody steps in and because most people don't know, they get away with stuff like this. So I'm not a lawyer, so now they put this lawyer in place, and whoever it is, with the intent that it would scare me and it would make me back down, because most people, again, when you're doing credit repair and you're sending those 609 letters, most of those people that, be careful where you get instruction from, their level of understanding only goes this far. So when it goes to this point, most of the time people get discouraged and they give up, because if you don't have the knowledge to supersede past that, you can't do anything. And the reality of it is, the lawyer can't do anything either, because guess what? He can't get any of her records because no consent was given for him to even have her social security number. So even though he can contact the Department of Education and probably get all of her documentation and all of that, she did not consent for this lawyer's office to do that. So if they do that, that's going to become, you're talking about a lawsuit, that's going to become a real big lawsuit. And then that will be something that'll go mainstream and people will get knowledge of it. So they rather this one or two person fall by the wayside than for people to realize how mainstream this is, because once word gets out, people get educated. And when people get educated, the top dogs up there don't want you to be educated. They want you to be stupid. So they contract these lawyers. And like I said, most people would see that letter and just be like, you know what? I'm not going to go to court. And they bank on that. Oh, but we won't even actually end up having to go to court, because I know what to say and sent the letter back to the credit bureaus that say, hey, this is not going to work, and I'm not going to put my language in there, because then y'all be typing up letters and all of that stuff, and I work too hard on my letters, so I can't just give it to you. And I'm not a hater, but I'm just not going to give it to you. So I sent the letter to TransUnion, because this TransUnion is really fighting me tooth and nail. Equifax fought me for a little bit. They gave up. Experian didn't want no trouble. TransUnion, they like the mafia. Like, they fighting tooth and nail. So they are banking on people not going, because when you see the lawyer, when you really don't have the knowledge and you really don't have the experience and you don't know what's next, if you see a lawyer, you just concede to the fight. So that just goes to show you, with that letter and with that sample of just that letter, is that they lack the knowledge. And whether it's right, whether it's wrong, again, I'm not here to say whether she should pay it. I'm not here to say, a bankruptcy, but I feel like whatever it was for her to have a financial hardship to file bankruptcy, it is what it is. It's one of those things that happen. People find loopholes all day long. What they're doing is illegal. So for you to combat it and fight it, you have every right to. So I just want you guys to be educated. It was baffling to me because that was the first time I actually really seen a lawyer really answer in that magnitude, was just blatant. They didn't have any, they had a lack of knowledge, what made it really, really easy for me. So, nevertheless, that is $64,000 worth of student loans that will be gone in a bankruptcy. And this person is prepared to buy a house. So why should you not have to buy a house or have your credit score increase because they just want to hold that to you and whatever? It's $1 billion business. I don't feel bad. The bankruptcy is off. The student loans is off. All is well is here. So I just wanted to tune in to you guys just to show you what I'll be dealing with, what you guys need to be aware of if you decide you want to do your own credit repair, because it's definitely an option. Just read up, just educate yourself, and make sure that you're operating within reason and within the law. And as long as you do that, you can fight whether you get letters from the lawyer's office or not. And you know the drill. If you need bankruptcy, credit repair, budget management, what else I do? I do it all. Anything financial, life insurance, I'm here. Meek the One _FFA. Facebook, I'm there. The website, www.financialfreedomhelp. And I will chat with you guys later. I hope you guys have a awesome rest of the day. And peace out. Bye, y'all.